Hello, YouTube.
Okay, so I wanted to make this video to tell you about the things that people are sleeping on when it comes to T5. And we should be very shortly upon release of the new contents, and I'm just gonna assume you've already done the attunement, or if you haven't, you definitely will. There's enough videos about this. I want to tell you about a few things that you haven't thought about yet. About is two professions that people have kind of been sleeping on. First one is engineering. Engineering was pretty big in classic WoW, but in TBC it's taking the downturn for leatherworking, blacksmithing, and enchanting or jewelry. So the great thing about engineering is, of course, the sappers, but we also have the chicken from the Gnomish battle chicken from that we had in classic, but it's still just as good in TBC, if not even better. The haste is 5%, it's flat, it scales perfectly into TBC. What doesn't scale is the Arcanite Dragonling, which we never use in TBC because it's shit. So it's mostly sappers and the chicken. There are also some other utility items that you might get a use for, depending on what guild and how your raid does things. Now, secondly, I want to talk about fishing. Fishing is gonna be decently important that at least someone in the raid has it. You basically need fishing to summon the lurker boss in SSC. And quickly, let's talk about fishing. I leveled up fishing in like one night. I spent about 3 to 4 hours getting it from 1 to 225. And then I spent about 6 more hours getting it from 225 to max rank. It's really boring. I suggest putting on some Netflix or some WoW stream. Twitch straw, of course, in the description down below. And just chill while you're doing it. It takes a long while. It's super boring. Just find something to do on the side. And thirdly, I really want to mention jewel crafting necks. There are some pretty decent jewel crafting necks. One of them is, for instance, the crit or spell damage. There are a few more, but I will talk about those in a future video. Okay, and now I want to talk about SSC, more specifically Vash. So Vash is going to be a pretty hard fight for lots of guilds, and I specifically want to talk about some of the more melee specific things about it. As you might know, I play an enhancement shaman. It's a very punishing fight, especially phase 3. So phase 1 and 2, it's gonna take some organizing to get your guild and raid to do it properly, but I assume you're at a decent level and that you'll do phase 1 and phase 2 with no major hurdles. But phase 3 is pretty punishing for melee especially. So there are these bats that fly above you and they will spawn a poison on top of you. So there's a few things that we can do to minimize our risk of dying. It ticks for a lot at the moment. The PTR was just down yesterday, and it might be some changes to this, but I'll update you on that, of course. But as it is for now, it ticks for like between 3 and 4k, but you also take a hit when the projectile kind of hits you, and then it spawns a pool around you. Now I'm gonna jump into paint and show you one of the positioning that we can do. So if you look at the green ones here, that would be the poison, and the X's are the melee comp. This is probably your warrior, your retribution paladin, and your enhancement shaman. And what we want to do is kind of spread as far as we can from each other, so that, for instance, if the pool spawns on the guy in the middle, the two on the side are as far away from the middle and doesn't have to walk a lot and will hopefully only take 1 tick. This might really fuck up the middle guy, because he will take the initial projectile hit and then he will probably take 2 ticks and die. So there's a few things we can do to help this. Healers, of course, keep all melee at 100% as much as possible. You should also have a Hearthstone ready and ready to use. You could use a health pot, but I wouldn't really recommend it. And that's because we really want either a lap or a FAP ready. That's because in phase 3, Vash will root everyone in melee range. And if you get rooted into the poison cloud, yeah, you're not gonna have a great time. So what we can do is have the Hearthstone and, for instance, a lap when we get rooted into the poison, you should definitely have a lap at a very easy, accessible, and quick to reach button so that you can press it immediately upon getting rooted and when you see the poison and you have to move. What one also could do is use a FAP, but that only lasts for half a minute, and for most guilds, like phase 3 is probably gonna take a few minutes. Yeah. But what we can do about FAPs is that we can assign one of the melees to have it up at almost all the time, and this will keep one of them safe, and the Retribution Paladin can freedom the other melee, and he can shield himself. And this would obviously be when he's not using the FAP. I haven't done too much testing with this, but I'm sure there might be something viable there. But LAP is like the easy to use, but even though you use it, if you're not topped off, it's like you're gonna die anyways, because the half second you spend in the poison basically kills you. It's ridiculous. We might see some nerfs, I assume not, because it's supposed to be that hard, but we'll have to see. So it's basically some RNG that's very hard to deal with. There are ways which you at least can minimize your risk of death, but it's basically do the best you can, and hopefully you'd bring a ranged heavy comp and you should be able to down Vash. Okay, so that was it. I just wanted to give this quick video out there to give some opinion and some testing. I wish I had some footage from our PTR sessions, but obviously we have a lot of strategies and stuff that I am unavailable to share at this moment. So I am gonna make a video after release, after World First Race, and give you more of the more specific kind of things that we are using, and yeah, some ways to deal with the encounters in the raid. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Give me any feedback, any suggestions for a video you would like to see. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Psst. Psst. You should subscribe.